As we continue to see examples of apathy, indifference, and blatant disrespect for our national traditions, like our flag, the military, our anthem, and the police, we are seeing symptoms of that infection impacting the fabric of the entire country. The problem is our citizens are not personally invested enough in our country. They simply misunderstand what it means to live in the land of the free and the responsibility we all have in that system that allows us to have liberty and freedom and to exercise it responsibly. Political correctness, situational ethics, and fake news has had a far-reaching impact on the complexion of the entire country for a couple of decades now. I hope this is not a frog in the boiling pot syndrome and we can still jump out to save ourselves. It is very dangerous for political correctness to redefine what it means to be truthful, fair, have integrity, and do it sustainably. It is being recharacterized by the liberal agenda to the point where these redefined perceptions are propagated, no matter how incredible, with a demand that they be given free and equal consideration to any of their opinions because this is a democracy. That means they can demand 2 + 2 = 6 and then expect everyone to agree on a compromise of 5 and call it fair. This is a result of not realizing the unintended consequences that will occur if 5 is now the new acceptable answer, with everyone being confused when nothing adds up. The pain of these wrong outcomes has never been experienced by many of these millennials, because they have never had the opportunity to deal with real problems and to know what to do if things don't work out exactly as they would like. Their snowflake existence has shielded them from this thought process. I've hired over 500 people in my career. The traits I always desired in any applicant were they graduated. That means they finished something. And they had military experience. That military training seemed to give them a background in discipline, following orders, respect for authority and chain of command, along with being responsible for their actions. They also knew how to function in an organization and were able to focus on the singleness of purpose or mission. There are other ways to learn these traits, but it is seldom found outside the rigid curriculum of science or business in college. This sort of study is always objective, not subjective, and structured with absolute answers being taught. This sort of education is expensive and demanding. Only the military can provide such discipline meeting both the specific standards. In the military, the incentive for not learning is life and death, both individually and to the team of which they are a part, if they should fail. In countries like Israel, where mandatory service is required, every citizen is engaged in all aspects of the country's security, because they are part of the system. All the citizens provide transportation, room, and board, as they can, and they keep their soldiers trained and fit. The citizens are both the beneficiaries and contributors to how the country operates. They all have skin in the game, which means they will all work to make their country better. They will fight to the death if anyone tries to marginalize, impugn, or compromise what they work so hard to build, and try to protect themselves so that the country can remain safer in such a hostile part of the world. Our individual objective should be to make our country more unified, knowing that we all must do our part to make America great again and stop whining about all the problems we have. We cannot accept the government to take care of everything that we have with no concern as to who's going to pay for it. We must all pay for it, if not in dollars, then in work, supplies, and emotional investment in that cause. Our country and each of us must seriously consider whether we are part of the problem or the solution. There is a point called maturity where each of us should be able to answer that question for ourselves. But it seems that point is never reached by fewer and fewer people each year. With a national public service program structured like a part of the military, this maturity point would be reached considerably quicker, with fewer young people never reaching it. In return, they would have a college education or a trade school education paid for, like the GI Bill, with a much better understanding of what problems they can help solve in the country when they graduate. This is Keith Kube, wishing you the best in making the world a better place.